Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 9 episode. I think this is 14. Pull up on me. All right, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. The more you do like the channel, the more I do go through the algorithm. The more people start to view my commentary on the road to 8,000 subscribers, 100 likes every single episode. So hit that like button, comment. Let's talk about what's going on tonight's episode of Sisters. All right, so it picks up where it left off, where Karen was saying that she wanted to leave Atlanta. And at first, when she was saying she wanted to leave Atlanta, Aaron was very, I don't want to say defensive, but he was giving her a lot of pushback. He really wasn't understanding where she was coming from. And she was just saying she don't know if it was the postpartum. She don't know if it was because of, her losing her child or her losing her life. She just want to go. She just needs a hard reset. She said after she talked to Dr. Vaughn and he gave her, and she found a support group, she just feels like she needs something new. And Aaron immediately thought that she was saying that she didn't want to be with him no more, or she just wanted to take faith and leave, or she was going to just not have anything to do. But she was letting him know, no, it's just not me, it's us. I want us to move. She was like, if you just really sit down and listen to what I have to say, I'm trying to explain to you how I'm feeling. And so Aaron was like, well, what about, you have your support group here. You have your sisters, you have your mom, you have your business. And she was just like, yeah, I know I have all of that. And she was like, and as far as her business, she's really kind of not feeling that anymore either, because Pam always asks her, like, you don't come to the shop like you normally do. Like, what's going on with that? She just said she just wants something new. Like, she just needs something new. And Aaron is pretty much like, so what if this just a temporary feeling? Like, what if you get tired of that? Are we just going to keep moving and keep moving until you find your happy place, so to speak? And then he says, I just have to ask you this question. Is it because of Zach? Like, are you moving just to get away from him because, it was his baby that ended up passing away? Would you still feel this way if it was Zach's baby? And Karen was like, why do you keep bringing that up? I thought we laid that to rest. And she was just like, I don't only want to get away from Zach. And she said, those feelings are not there anymore. She said, it's a long list of things why I want to get away. And she was saying that, she said that her and Zach, they are over, like they are done. She loves Aaron. She loves Faith. And then she loves the fact that Aaron is Faith's father. Like, she loves all of that. And Aaron is like, but every time something goes on with you, Zach is always running. And she was just like, well, that's just because, and he really kind of cut her off and was like, it's because he still cares, it's because he still loves you or whatever. And she was like, no, I wasn't going to say that. But she never really got into why he does it. I just thought because they do have a relationship, like a friendship. They did know each other for years or whatever. Because he was like, he came drunk and everything in the middle of the night and didn't even tell his wife or whatever. But she was like, nah, I don't think that or whatever. She was just like, look, I just want to leave. I want to start fresh, and all of that stuff. And then he finally agreed that they could go ahead and move, once they got like all the conversations out the way and they went over, the different reasons why. But at the end of the day, it looks like Karen is leaving. So do y'all really think that Karen is going to leave? Because, I mean, I was thinking about that before Sisters even came back. Karen was not in a lot of the promo. So at first I thought that they were going to, kill her off when she had the babies. But now it looks like she's just going to move away. But the thing about it is, when she moves away, she can always come back. So it's not like a hard no, So, yeah. But it looks like so far, Karen and Aaron and Faith, they're going to leave. All right, so now here's another hard conversation. So Fatima Zach comes up to Fatima's job, and it's like now they're having this whole accountability conversation. They are apologizing to each other. So Zach pretty much kind of starts it off. And he's just like, look, I want to talk to you. I want to just talk about the place that they have been in lately. He was like, he don't know if it's the hormones, the pregnancy. And Fatima is kind of like, where are you going with this? Like, what is? He was like, well, if you give me the time to explain, I will explain it. He says, I'm trying to take accountability. He was like, I know I was wrong for getting a midwife. Just everything that has went on, he just thought that was the right thing to do. But now he knows that it's her body, you know what I'm saying? And he's going to respect her wishes when it comes to her body. And she was just like, okay, cool. And then he brought up the Karen, and she said, well, she said, well, when Karen called her, it wasn't like she wanted to keep it from him. It was just that Karen didn't want anybody to know. And she wanted to respect Karen's wishes. And they not BFFs. They just, they cool now, pretty much. And thank God that they cool, And so they kind of agreed on that. And then they also brought up the conversation about Fatima saying that she doesn't feel sorry for her feelings, as far as her saying that she was happy that it was Zach's baby that didn't make it, and not the other, not Aaron's or whatever. She was happy that it was Zach's, and she stood in it. And Zach said, well, if you would have talked to me about it, then I would have expressed to you that maybe that was the reason why he was beating himself up so much, because he kind of felt the same way. And then in that conversation, I kind of felt weird about it, because I was like, I get it, right? I get that Zach didn't really want the attachment to Karen like that because of Fatima and all of that. But I don't know. I just feel like he was too emotional behind it. It was just too much with his emotions, with him crying, with him not getting together. Like, it's like his whole body was off. Like, his mind was off for him to say that he felt the same way that she felt. I don't know. I kind of feel like they wrote that in there just so Fatima wouldn't look like the bad guy in this conversation. Because I don't really know too many people that would be happy that their child didn't make it. And not even just that they will be happy. It's like, I don't know. That to me, I feel like they just wrote that in there just to smooth over the conversation, so we wouldn't be looking at Fatima sideways. But now I'm looking at Zach and Fatima sideways, because I feel like that conversation is it's kind of weird to me. I understand we don't want the connection between Karen and Zach and Fatima. I understand that. But at the end of the day, why would you be relieved that your child didn't make it? I don't know. That was just weird. But anyway, so they ended up getting on the conversation about Chaz, because Zach's apologized for his thing, and not Karen, but Fatima says, her thing. And he was like, no, you got some more, Chaz. And she was just like, well, you right. I should have pretty much handled that a little bit better. Like, she was saying, he had no right to come to the house. And Zach was telling her, like, you have to have boundaries. Like, you can't accept gifts like that from him, unless it's gifts for both of us. Courtside tickets, a car, something that he can benefit off of, and he said, you gotta put your boundaries in place. Just like I was saying the whole time when it came to Fatima. But Fatima's whole excuse was she just felt like she wanted something of her own. Like, she wanted something that she could control, but it ended up getting out of control. you know. And they also brought up the whole Andy. She said because it looks like it was causing problems in her home and also with Andy. And Zach was pretty much saying that Andy, forget Andy. Andy is a hater. And pretty much like she a hater. And whatever you do it for you because that was a good thing. And he was happy that she was doing it. He just didn't like the fact that the boundaries were not in place and that Chaz felt like he could do whatever he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. So they ended up getting an understanding about that, and that was cool. All right, so now this whole thing at higher what is this, Higher Airlines? Old boy done got fired. And he is like he almost want to go postal. And he's just like, yeah, Danny, you about to get fired next because they got budget cuts and all this stuff. And he was like, forget Higher Airlines. Forget Higher Airlines. Forget them all, you know. And, Danny is like, I know you're not going to go out like a punk. I know you're not going to go out like a sucker. You need to do something. But he takes her advice and we'll see later on what he did with that. All right. So now Andy gets on the line and she calls Sabrina. And she tells Sabrina, did you see how Danny was acting last night when it came to Karen and when it came to her about the Dr. Vaughn situation and all of that and the Gary situation. And Sabrina's whole thing is like, look, we all get scared when it comes to Gary, when it comes to you, because they know that when Gary comes around, Andy pretty much follows behind him. And she also says, why would you lie about Dr. Vaughn? Like, I saw you having drinks with him. And she was just like, well, I just don't feel like I didn't want to make it a big deal. But Sabrina is like, well, if you lying about it, then that makes it an even bigger deal. But she was like, well, it really wasn't like that. She was really trying to do some things for Karen, even though she's still slick like Dr. Vaughn. But she kind of understood where they was coming from or whatever. So that was pretty much that conversation. All right. So now Danny's cousin, he comes up to Sabrina's job and he's looking for Sabrina. He puts some money, he deposits $10 in the bank. Now he got $8 total. He's out of the negative. But somehow, some way he ends up in Sabrina's office because Maurice is like, it looked like it's some niggas here that's gonna rob the bank. I said, you ain't got to label this boy as a bank robber, even though he just got out of jail and we don't know what he went to jail for. But anyway, he comes in there and he's talking to Sabrina. He's just like, look, Sabrina, he pretty much apologizes for what he did. And he brought up the fact that, he did lie, but he said that Sabrina lied too, because like she had 22 pictures on there and they all look photoshopped. And she didn't even put on her profile that she went to jail. And I was like, girl, boy, she didn't go to jail like you went to jail. Those are two different jail times. And she was like, but you still lie. You said you was a whole doctor. He said before he went to jail, he was getting his doctorate degree. And Maurice told me, what field was you in? He was like, I wasn't in the field. I was in the classroom. So I guess he is smart. If in fact he was trying to get his doctorate. I mean, maybe there's hope. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there is hope for Danny's cousin and Sabrina. So it looks like they're still going to see each other because he was like, whenever you need a good time, just call me and I'll be there. I'll be around. That was pretty much that. Okay, so Danny didn't get fired at Higher Airlines, even though she thought that she was. She just got her hours cut. Okay, good for you, Danny. You kept your job. All right. Now, as Fatima and Zach were talking about Chaz, guess who pops up at the job? It's Chaz. And, they have some words back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this is when Fatima really puts her foot down. And she's just like, look, Chaz, the way you acting, you're very immature and I can no longer have you as a client. Point blank, period. And Chaz like, you gonna choose old dude over me? You gonna choose this bum over me instead of getting money with me? And she was like, yeah, I choose Zach every time. Every single time I'm gonna choose Zach. And he was just like, well, forget y'all. Forget all y'all, you know. And so they was going back. And Fatima also said, and the next time you stop by my house, yeah, you gonna be shooting basketball in purgatory, meaning you gonna be unalive. Keep playing with me, because he was threatening them, and I was happy. I was happy that Fatima put her foot down, and I was happy that she expressed like, you were wrong, and don't play with it like that, because the next time you try it, you gonna be breathing underground. And I was happy about that. And then of course Hayden came in, and he was just trying to say what they doing, what they doing. You know how Hayden do. And the dude was like, little he talking about, look, what did he say, little old a nigga or whatever, you know, gone on or whatever. But that was funny how he kind of got Hayden together. And I like the fact that Fatima and Zach, they stick together. I'm happy that they got their understanding. I'm happy that, you know what I'm saying, they are on common ground. They back on the same page. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy. All right. So now, old boy going to jail because he was slanging boxes. Well, he was he was slanging luggage and slapping people. I'm like, boy, who was you slapping? And whose luggage was you slanging? Like, I just thought that was the funniest thing. He's slanging luggage and slapping people. Like, what in the world? What is this? Where do we get this stuff from? But anyway, the same police officer that arrested him was the same police officer that was at Karen's house, which is the same police officer that has a crush on Danny, and the same police officer that Danny Slick got a crush on. You know what I noticed about this Tyler Perry? What he does? It's like they all get new men at the same time. All of them. In this episode right here, it shows that every last one of them, Danny, Andy, and Sabrina, they all got 3 new men. And now Karen, she got her new man, which was an old man, but now back a new man, and she finna go get a new reset. So I said, okay, so out with the old man, in with the new man, and they gonna probably end up going on a date, you know. So, hey, Mr. Officer. Okay, cool. All right, now at the gym, Zach is happy because he got 100 racks inside of his bank account. Happy Zach. I'm glad Zach is getting his money up. At first, I thought it was the money that Gary, that he invested with Gary, that he got back from Gary. So, but it looks like that 3 million probably ain't coming back, or whatever, however much it was. Was it 3 million? 100 racks? I don't know, but he got 100 racks. I don't know how he got it, but he got it, right? And the same guy that came over there that had prayer with Zach and that was talking to Zach when he was going through his lowest, when he lost his baby, that now he feel the same way that Fatima does, which is crazy to me. But anyway, he's back. And so he's asking Zach, are you from here or from here? And Zach is like, well, I'm from a little everywhere. You know, me and my brothers, we moved around a lot. He was like, because you look familiar. I think I know your people. What's your last name? Why you won't know my last name? Why? Because I think I know your people. Do you know, I guess he said Mo did? No, I don't know Mo. Do you know Gladys? Like, Gladys, my mama. Yeah, I know your daddy. I wanted to say, so are you his daddy? Are you Zach daddy? Come on, we can go have dinner sometime and talk about it. So, are you Zach daddy? Mr. White Tea? I think that's Zach daddy, because they even look alike. I think. So we'll figure that out, because Zach said he don't know when his daddy was a bum, and he didn't really care about them like that. And he had deadbeat parents. Anyway, so yeah. All right, so here we are with Dr. Vaughn. Dr. Vaughn comes up to Andy's office, and he brings her coffee, and they have a little flirtation going around. And he says, when can he see Andy outside of her work clothes? Meaning go on real dates. And then he describes the coffee, and the coffee is like Andy, short, strong, black, cute. I don't know. They just going back and forth. And then he says he wants to kiss her, and then they start kissing. And then Andy mama comes in. Andy Marie Barnes, what are you doing? So Andy Mama is there. And it looks like Andy Mama is another Marie, and she gonna be causing problems, and she gonna be getting everybody's business. Well, I guess she thinks she gonna be handling Andy's business for her. So as I stated, they got new men now, and Karen looks like she's leaving. Zach looks like he's about to find his daddy, a daddy adjacent, and it looks like Andy's mama is coming to wreak havoc and getting on Fatima nerves, and Fatima ain't the one to play with. And it looks like Andy and Fatima gonna be getting into it. It's gonna be a big mess. And it looks like Sabrina is gonna be sleeping with Danny's cousin. She probably end up getting pregnant. And hopefully Andy, yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, this is Sheila Bila. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this episode. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.